Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. I'm Ryan Beachu.
I'm Doris Polo.
I am Jassi Marik with sport.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Bomb threats trigger evacuations at courts and Val Park today as police investigate a string of calls and authorities warn against panic.
The police commissioner defends his emergency overseas trip, insisting he followed protocol.
Police serve PNM trustees with more court documents as the investigation into the funding of Bali House widens.
Coming up in sport, TNT's under-14 soccer warriors whip French Guyana, but fall short of advancing at the CFU Challenge Series.
An approaching trough could bring increasing moisture and instability, including some showers. I'll tell you more in the full forecast.
Top of the news tonight. 11 bomb threats were reported across Trinidad and Tobago today, targeting several courts, a shopping plaza and a government ministry.
A fire service official believes today's series of threats were likely the work of persons intent on causing mischief. However, it has raised deeper concerns. Between 1 and 1:40 this afternoon, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service received calls involving alleged bomb threats at Val Park Shopping Plaza, the Judiciary Building in Bacalet, Tobago, and magistrates' courts in Siparia, Sangre Grande, Chaguanas, San Fernando, Couva, Princestown, Arima, and Point Fortin. The official says officers responded to all of the calls, but the service currently has no bomb technicians among its active personnel. The official explains the fire service's role is to ensure everyone inside a building is accounted for and safely moved to designated assembly points. The buildings are then left to TTPS bomb technicians to sweep and clear. Confirming the reports today, the TTPS said its security protocols were activated and urged members of the public to remain calm, avoid any affected areas where police operations are taking place, and comply with the directions of law enforcement personnel.
Business owners at Val Park who did not want to speak publicly said there were fire and police at the scene in the afternoon, but they eventually cleared out, having found nothing.
Well, Police Commissioner Alista Guevara says Rome is not on fire as he defends his recent overseas trip amid questions about the circumstances surrounding the emergency travel.
Guevara appears to be back in the country. In a statement earlier today, the top cop says he briefed the National Security Council chair and the Homeland Security Minister upon his return. He is also adamant that he followed all established procedures when he took 5 days of emergency leave earlier this month to travel outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Guevara explains that he applied to Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander on August 10th after receiving information from the Strategic Services Agency and Special Branch. The minister approved the request and the relevant correspondence was sent to the Police Service Commission. But Guevara is refusing to disclose the reason for the trip, saying he is not at liberty to discuss it.
They say I fall sick. They say I went to investigate the people who were hiding money outside of the country. I even hear that I went with a list to get people visas revoked. This is something I am not at liberty to discuss.
The commissioner also dismisses speculation about his absence and says it did not create a crisis within the police service. Hours prior to Guevara's statement during the weekly TTPS media briefing, CNC3 News tried to get further details as to the nature of Guevara's emergency trip and when he would be returning.
So at this time, I have no information as to the nature of the leave and when he would be returning.
CNC3 News attempted to contact Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander for comment, but received no response up to news time. Family members of SOE detainee Star Sabga are requesting to visit her as she remains under house arrest. The request is contained in the latest correspondence sent to the Police Commissioner office last Friday, in which her lawyers again appealed for her to be seen by her personal physician, Dr. Jacqueline Sabga.
The specific request is for 3 family members to visit her on Tuesdays and Thursdays for no more than 15 minutes at a time. Lawyers also asked for approved visits by her legal team and a commissioner of affidavits. CNC3 News understands the request for a doctor's visit was granted on Monday following an initial consultation on August 1st. And several unanswered requests between July 29th and August 10th for further medical visits. However, it is unclear if the other requests were granted. Today, TTPS Public Information Officer ASP Owe Russell was tight-lipped on the matter.
Well, at this time, I have no information with respect to that situation, so I am unable to correctly share any information.
As it pertains to protocols in place for those detained by the state in prison compared to house arrest, Russell again declined to comment.
Sir, I cannot speak to what occurs in the prison.
When contacted, SABGA's doctor also refused to comment on the issue. However, the 70-year-old accused has complained of experiencing chest pains and she has lost 29 pounds since her detention on June 28th. Now, Star SABGA is accused of conspiracy to murder government officials. So far, no charges have been laid. Today, we asked if you believe the request by SOE detainee Star SABGA for medical care should be allowed by the police commissioner.
This is what you had to tell us.
As a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, she should be given her good government of necessary medical attention, and then after the Court of Justice shall proceed with any criminal trial for her actions after.
Yes. Why? Well, she's at her age. Look at her age. She's how much? 70? Right. And she is in there. If anything happened to her, what will happen? They could sue. Right? So I say give her medical attention.
Yes, health is important. If they don't have proper evidence, they will have to pay her, compensate her for her illness. But I feel they should look into that. Yes.
Why do you think it should be allowed? People health comes first.
Yes, because things just go wrong with the body, and you must get medical attention.
Yes, she should get medical attention.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, she's still a person, regardless of the wrong she do. She still needs to get that attention, because if something happened to her on their man, you feel the public going to blame that.
Police have served PNM trustees with additional court documents as their investigation into the funding of Bali House continues. Last month, High Court Judge Margaret Mohammed granted a preliminary unexplained wealth order requiring the party, through its trustees, to disclose how the multi-million-dollar project was funded. The order was sought by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service under the Civil Asset Recovery and Management and Unexplained Wealth Act, legislation introduced by the PNM in 2019 while in government. Today, 2 police officers returned to Bali House and served trustees with further court documents. Deputy Political Leader Sanjeev Budu was present when the documents were served, but he said he did not read them.
No, the police officers just came to serve some documents. As you are aware, there are court proceedings initiated by the police. We are respondents in the court matter, and they were just here to serve some documents. That's all.
And those documents is in relation to what specifically?
There are court proceedings initiated by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. An unexplained wealth order application was made. So those documents relate to that matter.
Could you give us a little details as to the contents of the documents?
I haven't read the...
We know the matter is before the court, right?
Yeah, but I haven't read the documents. They just came.
When asked, Budu did not say which trustee received the documents. Now, CNC3 News saw former PNM Vice Chairman Robert Lehunt at Bali House while the officers were there. The officers arrived just before 2 p.m., leaving at 2:19 p.m.
Well, a rift appears to be emerging within the PNM's San Fernando East constituency. Brian Manning says he was removed from the constituency's group chat and had a post deleted. He's calling for transparency, accountability, and an independent review of concerns raised by party members. Manning questions the multiple roles held by constituency chairman Patricia Alexis, saying constituents fear it could affect impartial decision-making when constituency matters reach the national level. He also raised concerns about reported CPEP contracts involving Alexis, while stressing he is making no accusation of wrongdoing. Manning says a request for an independent reviewer from outside the central executive was rejected and is now calling on the party's leadership to provide clarity. PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez says the matter is being handled through the party's constitutional processes. San Fernando Mayor Robert Paris says democracy must prevail but declined to get involved. Neither Alexis nor opposition leader Penelope Beckles responded to requests for comment.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Tutor says the Education Ministry dropped the ball on school repairs, warning September's reopening could be a challenge.
Steelworkers Union warns PM not to repeat the mistakes of the ArcelorMittal era as the Point Lisas plant heads toward reopening.
Later on in sport, after 3 straight defeats, the Jamaica Kingsmen find momentum in the CPL. They now have 2 wins out of 2.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95 or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Public Utilities Minister Barry Pedarath is standing by his position that there is no 10% wage offer on the table for TSTT workers, directly rejecting claims made by Communication Workers Union Secretary General Joanne Ogier.
Pedarath was responding today to Ogier's call for an investigation into TSTT Vice President of Corporate Services Roshan Babwa as the dispute between the union and the company continues. Pedarath says both TSTT management and the company's board have rejected Ogier's account. Earlier today, Ogier questioned Pedarath over what she said is a failure to properly advise him about discussions between the union and TSTT. She rejected suggestions that TSTT workers are being unreasonable. Ogier said the union and TSTT met twice and that the parties crunched the numbers on a possible settlement. She said the union believed its discussions with senior TSTT officials, including Roshan Babwa and former acting CEO Kino Cox, represented meaningful negotiations toward an agreement.
So if the union is negotiating with the person who will give the stamp of approval, then tell me how we should not constitute that or understand that to be an agreement. If you all have any modicum of respect and appreciation for workers, you all will not be pushing back at this union so hard. That is what you all are telling workers. You all are telling workers here what? 10% is too much.
She's challenging Babwa to dispute the union's account of those meetings. Ogier is also raising questions about other management decisions at TSTT, including appointments, promotions, and the recruitment of a new corporate secretary. She says the union has written to Minister Pedarath about its concerns, including Babwa's performance.
Is it so easy to get a job in TSTT? You get a call. You get a call and say, hey, hire this person. And they reach in TSTT, and workers in TSTT can't get promoted. They're acting indefinitely. They're retiring, and they can't get promoted. Clyde Elder, all the third stage grievances that you left in the union, they're still outstanding. And Roshan Babwa said, oh, I forget this part. I had to say this part. Roshan Babwa again. Watch now. I'll give him a Grammy for talking.
Now, despite the escalating rhetoric, Ogier maintained that the CWU does not intend to disrupt TSTT's operations or inconvenience customers.
CNC3 News is awaiting a response from the Public Utilities Minister to the concerns raised by Ogier. On the business front, the Communication Workers Union is backing Reza Hussain as TSTT's new chief executive, while raising concerns about the company's leadership stability and the recent turnover at the top.
Meanwhile, Restaurant Holdings Limited says economic pressures are affecting sales in Trinidad and Tobago, but the operators of Burger King, Popeyes and Little Caesars are adjusting their businesses to changing consumer spending.
Andrea Perez-Sobers tells us more in tonight's Business Watch.
The Communications Workers Union, which represents TSTT employees, is making it clear that its support for the new acting CEO, Reza Hussain, is not about personalities. CW Secretary General Joanne Ogier says the union supported Kino Cox during his tenure and is now prepared to work with Hussain, provided the company remains focused on profitability and sustainability.
Mr. Reza Hussain, who I am highly fond of because I have a good relationship with him. You know, he's a very honest person And he's very educated and experienced, and we want to say we support him. So to answer your question, we support Mr. Hussain, just as we supported Mr. Cox, just as we supported Mr. Weston. We don't take things personal. We look at the interests of workers.
OGU notes she has not been formally informed that Cox was terminated and has heard conflicting reports that he may be on administrative leave or vacation. She's, however, critical of the pattern of leadership changes at the state-owned telecommunications company.
It is not a good impression to the public to see from April 2025 to August 2026, 3 CEOs in one company. Look at the amount of resignations on the board. It is not looking good, and it speaks to leadership.
Turning to other business news, economic pressures are affecting sales at Restaurant Holdings Limited, the company responsible for Burger King, Popeyes and Little Caesars in Trinidad and Tobago. Country manager Denise Kamal says the company has seen the impact on sales, but is using changes in consumer spending as a signal to adjust its business.
Those impacts give us an indication of where we need to improve. You know, we take that as signals, right? And we try to react before it becomes pressing on us, right? So it's not that we are not being affected, all right? But again, it is understanding, okay, what does that mean? And how do we then adjust? Because you're always going to have a challenge.
The food sector has also changed significantly since the COVID-19 pandemic, with operators having to adjust to changing consumer behavior and a more competitive market. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Andrea Perez Sobers, CNC3 Business Watch.
At least one trade union is tonight ecstatic and holding the government to its promise that workers will receive part of their back pay by year's end.
National Union of Government and Federated Workers President General Christopher Street says daily rated workers who have been without a wage increase since 2013 are anxiously awaiting the money. Cabinet has ratified the union's 10% wage agreement with the Chief Personnel Officer, covering approximately 20,000 workers. The new salary rates could begin showing up in workers' pay packets from September, with Street saying they have already started making plans for the money. Street tells CNC3 News the union has been assured that half of the back pay will be paid, with talks to continue on when workers will receive the remainder.
Workers who have been starved, and I use the word deliberate pay, of any kind of increase in wages since 2013 must be completely ecstatic that they know that something is in the pipeline for them and they are looking forward. They have planned and so on for it. So we anticipate that it will be paid promptly as was promised.
He says the commitment to make the payment this year is in writing, and the union fully expects government to keep its word.
Meanwhile, the Steel Workers Union is warning the Prime Minister to learn from the ArcelorMittal experience as the former Point Lisa's steel plant moves towards reopening.
Union President Timothy Bailey says foreign multinational companies cannot be allowed to put their interests ahead of Trinidad and Tobago's. Bailey's response comes after the Prime Minister rejected the union's call to be involved in the new steel operation, saying the union is not a stakeholder. She further stated the union had 10 years to take over the plant or get an investor and failed to do so. But Bailey says the union remains hopeful Prime Minister Prasad Bisesa will take a different approach from previous administrations.
The lessons learned from the ArcelorMittal experience has taught us to be cautious of foreign multinational companies who hold no loyalty to Trinbagonian people. And so we look to our leaders to protect and to seek the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
The former ArcelorMittal plant has been idle since 2016 and is now being refurbished by Ibis Steel, backed by US-based Pinnacle Steel and Vanadium.
The new operation is expected to involve a US $750 million investment and could create up to 1,000 permanent jobs. Tutor President Crystal Ash says the Ministry of Education dropped the ball on school repairs ahead of the new academic year.
Speaking on the Morning Brew today, Ash said repair works started extremely late, with little or no work taking place throughout July.
I did a little home lesson yesterday to find out how many schools are being repaired and in different districts. And the numbers are very, very small, very small. I don't know for what reason, what is the criteria of the Ministry of Education, because there is no consultation with tutor. They don't ask tutor to say, listen, are you aware, or are you familiar, or has information reached you in terms of any school that is in need of dire repair? They could ask that. We will be able to answer.
Ash also warned that the reopening of schools on September 7th could be challenging, pointing to outstanding back pay owed to teachers.
We've reached out to the Ministry of Education for a response and have yet to hear back. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Kennedy Swartzing, says the government is still assessing the full extent of the country's indebtedness, including outstanding bills from 2016 up to 2024. Dr. Swartzing was speaking at pre-budget consultations hosted by Caroni Central MP David Lee last night. Residents used the session to put their priorities on the table, from road and drainage improvements to completing primary schools, repairing pavilions, supporting farmers and addressing social welfare needs. Dr. Swartzing, however, says the government has limited room to spend with much of the national budget already committed.
As we settle many of these wage negotiations, many of the new salaries are now kicking in the monthly pay, and in the next fiscal, some of the salaries for the daily pay that we have settled in will have to start coming in. Of every dollar the government spends, 95 cents of every dollar goes into transfers, subsidies, salaries, pensions, debt repayment. So in other words, a small portion of that dollar remains available to government.
Dr. Swartzing says the government expects the first 2 years in office to be the most difficult, with conditions expected to improve afterwards. But Caroni Central MP David Lee says the fiscal situation was so dire that Trinidad and Tobago could have faced the International Monetary Fund.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news. Police report a drop in several crimes against children and domestic violence, but warn cases may still be reported.
Still to come, a check on the Atlantic as hurricane season pushes toward its peak.
Need to open a bank account? There's no time to make the drive to stand in line. Get ready. Opening an account with Republic On Board is easy, from anywhere at any time, even while waiting for a food order. So you don't have to skip lunch. Republic On Board. Fast, easy, secure. Visit www.republiconboard.com to open your account today.
Today, we can send and receive love instantly. With It, your loved ones can send MoneyGram transfers straight to your It wallet. No trips, no lines, just secure, quick, and convenient access to your money in your It wallet when you need it. Download the It app now. Your money, your way. Powered by the MoneyGram Network.
Textbooks, screens, late nights. Your eyes work hard through every class, exam, project, and deadline. Ferrara Optical has eyewear specifically designed to reduce eye strain, so nothing holds your learning back. For a limited time, youth get a free frame with lenses from just $495. Scholars get frame and lenses starting at only $750. And lifelong learners save up to 30% off your purchase of advanced lenses like Eisen and Transitions. Less strain, more focus. Your vision without limits. Visit Ferrara Optical in store today. This promotion is NLCB approved.
Here at GMMB, love is the currency. And let's show you how we are able to transfer that energy into real conversations. How important is it for the client to be recognized and not to feel invisible, to feel like just a number?
At GMMB, everybody is seen as an ideal, important client. And we give everybody the same level of respect, the same level of acknowledgement, and we deal with you to suit based on that vision of love.
GMMB.
It's banking for real.
The Caribbean Court of Justice has immediately changed how judges are assigned to panels. All judges are now required to sit on every panel unless formally excused for a legitimate reason.
That's right, Doris. The announcement was made on the CCJ's social media pages today. According to the court, the move is aimed at improving consistency, transparency and flexibility in the allocation of judicial work. The 3 panel leaders will be the court's president and its 2 most senior judges. The changes come amid controversy over President Justice Winston Anderson's management of the court, including allegations of panel fixing and attempts to influence decisions. Justice Anderson has rejected those allegations as wholly untrue. The changes also come as the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission investigates concerns raised by private correspondence between CCJ judges. Police from the Special Victims Unit are tonight reporting that several categories of crimes against children and domestic violence have decreased.
According to data compiled by the unit between January to July of this year, several categories of crime, including intimate partner violence, cruelty to children, and physical abuse from gender-based violence, appeared to be on the decline. However, head of the unit, Superintendent Roger Reyes, acknowledged that some cases may be unreported due to the sensitive nature of these crimes.
We are the special victims are aware in some instances there may be reports are underreported, but we are working towards, as Mr. Jules indicated, and going to those communities, doing outreach programs, meeting the people to get those reports.
Parents bringing their new romantic partners to live alongside their children as step-parents were also advised to be vigilant, noting that body language and other non-verbal cues could indicate whether a child is being abused.
Thousands of students across the country received their CSEC results yesterday, but concerns are growing over the number of students who did not sit the exam.
Tutor President Crystal Ash, who appeared on CNC3's Morning Brew, responded to CXC's report on absenteeism. CXC reported that about 35,000 of 100,000 students across 17 Caribbean countries were absent from at least one exam. Ash says the high absenteeism rate is concerning, but it is not a new problem.
Now that number, yes, it is alarming, but as you read further, you see that they say that it's actually lower than previous years. So if 35,000 is lower than previous years, what was it? I tried to do a little research to find out what would have been the level of absenteeism in 25, 24 and going back. I didn't get anything on that.
When asked what could be the reason for this rate of absenteeism, Ash suggested that some students who felt nervous or unprepared may have skipped the exam altogether, but stressed that parents should have ensured more direct supervision.
All right, Sigoni's back, and guys, our plans to visit the beach before work today were dashed by that rain, Sigoni.
I looked outside and it was pretty dark.
And that only came in the afternoon period. Let's remember, guys, the forecast and the original plan was to go to the beach in the early morning parts of the day. And then by midday, daytime heating caught up with us and gave us those heavy downpours. But not everywhere got the showers. Tonight, though, we've got some rain outside already, and we're expecting a nice, cool evening ahead. But let's take a look at what else is happening out there. We're getting into our tropical pulse first and foremost. And what we're seeing here is that the Atlantic has already churned out 3 named systems, Arthur, Bertha, and Cristobal. Notice they're all away from the Caribbean island chain, which is good, but with only 3 named storms, the question is what's going to happen as we approach the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is just about 2 weeks away. And this is usually when we see wave after wave coming off the African coast, pulsing through the Caribbean, possibly developing into systems. Right now, it is quiet out there. We do not have any tropical waves that are bearing any signs of development at this time. So for the next 2 to 7 day period, it is all about no tropical cyclonic activity developing in this general area. And the main player here will be the El Nino that is strengthening. And we are also seeing a lot of wind shear happening from the Caribbean Sea, pulsing and really pushing against these systems, as well as Saharan dust taking over the eastern portion of the Atlantic. So all the way into September 1st, right now, what we're seeing is that there is a very low to zero chance of any kind of tropical activity happening or developing in our area of interest as the time progresses. So that's what we know in the long term. In the short term, where the forecast is concerned, let's take a look at what's happening here. We do have some shallow bits of moisture rolling on those low-level clouds in the atmosphere right now within that easterly trade wind flow, and it's producing some rain-bearing clouds into the forecast right now. As the evening progresses, while some areas will remain clear and possibly on the dry side, other areas, especially northern and hilly areas of Trinidad, for most of Tobago just after midnight, will see some late evening showery activity picking up just a bit. But the temperatures remain quite warm into this evening's forecast. And even tomorrow, temperatures remain warm as well. Early morning showery activity takes place for Tobago, while Trinidad will get showers mainly in the afternoon period, and we could see the possibility of a heavy downpour along hilly areas in Trinidad, but Tobago could see an isolated thunderstorm with gusty winds and localized flooding at play. So pay attention when you're commuting and conducting your activities. But if you're heading to the beaches, conditions here remain slight to moderate, winds coming out from the northeast to east-southeasterly directions and holding steady, and just a little bit of Saharan dust at play. Not enough to bother you into tomorrow's forecast because we have that moisture around, but still enough to warrant a little bit of concern where your health is in play. So take the necessary precautions, have your relievers and inhalers on hand at times.
I'm grateful for the little pitter-patters outside because it actually helps with Sahara.
As Sigoni coins it.
Yes. It's time now for a break. We'll be right back.
Invest in every innings. Is this the best match of the season? Yes, it is. With the Unitrust Corporation on your team, it's the best match every season. Stop settling for less. Access the best performing funds on the market with the highest income fund rates in the industry with UTC on your side and its 44 years of investment experience. You won't just support the winning team, you'll be part of one. Visit the nearest investment center, agency, or ttutc.com to sign up today.
Some moments change everything. Your family's first memories. Comfort isn't just about temperature, it's about feeling your best. Whether you're celebrating the big win or making unforgettable memories, the moments that matter deserve comfort you can trust. That's why thousands choose McQuay by Daikin. And now, every purchase of a McQuay air conditioner helps make a difference. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society. Visit your nearest Schoolmax or Superco Limited branch or request McQuay from your trusted AC technician.
Living with diabetic neuropathy is exhausting. The burning pain and tingling that won't go away? Introducing Myolaxin D Gel, made for pain relief. Fast absorbing, non-greasy, and easy to apply. Its Carbomer gel formula delivers relief deep at the nerve level. Oleoresin capsicum helps reduce pain signals, while diclofenac eases inflammation. Menthol and camphor provide fast, soothing comfort, so the pain eases and comfort returns. Size doesn't matter. This 15-gram tube gives you maximum relief. Myolaxin D Gel, available at pharmacies nationwide.
A lot can change in 75 years. Ideas can grow, landscapes can change, culture can flourish. So can a people. For over 75 years, Jimmy Abood has proudly added to the tapestry of Trinidad and Tobago, providing the material that sets us apart and brings people together. Come on in and celebrate with us as we surpass 75 years as the fabric of a nation, serving generations.
Hi, Sunil Narayan here, and for the longest while, I've been looking for a place in Central to call home. I didn't have much experience in home shopping until I visited Avidan Properties Limited. They made the process so easy and the quality of homes are truly amazing. If you're looking to get your future home, then I definitely recommend Avidan Properties Limited.
When it comes to losing weight, social media is filled with quick fixes and diet trends promising fast results, right, Doris? Well, from eating the same meal every day to restrictive plans.
Many people are willing to try almost anything to shed the pounds, but are these diets actually healthy? And more importantly, are they sustainable? Jesse Ramdio tells us what the experts want you to know in tonight's Wellness Wednesday.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
People weighing food, meal prep containers, before and after weight loss posts. Scroll through social media and you will find countless diet plans claiming to be the secret to weight loss. But nutrition experts say when it comes to dieting, what works for one person may not work for another. And some popular trends can do more harm than good. Vegetables, protein, carbohydrates. One popular belief is that eating the same thing every day will automatically lead to weight loss. While eating a consistent meal can make calorie control easier, experts say a repetitive diet can leave important nutrients out of the equation. A healthy diet should include variety, including vegetables and fruits, protein, whole grains, and healthy fats. Then there are restrictive trends such as the Tiffany plate, where the focus is placed heavily on controlling portions or following a specific formula. The problem isn't necessarily portion control. The concern is when a diet becomes so restrictive that a person begins eliminating entire food groups or drastically cutting calories. But experts warn that a catchy name does not make a diet scientifically sound. Extreme restrictions may produce rapid changes on the scale, but that does not necessarily mean a person is losing body fat in a healthy or sustainable way. So, instead of searching for the next viral diet, experts recommend focusing on habits that can actually be maintained. That means eating balanced meals, practicing reasonable portion control, staying physically active, getting enough sleep, and making gradual changes. And before starting any restrictive diet, getting advice from a qualified healthcare professional can help determine what is appropriate for your individual needs. The bottom line is simple. Weight loss should not be about starving yourself or following the latest trend online. A sustainable approach is one that gives your body the nutrients it needs while helping you develop habits you can maintain long after the number on the scale changes. Jesse Ramdio, CNC3 News.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
Some good advice in there, Doris.
I think so, especially looking at those meal prepping goals in that fridge.
That is the goal.
I think so. All right, now coming up, off an historic CSE game gold medal, young netballers have a tangible example to emulate.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Doris. And the court's All Sectors Under-16 League offers perhaps the best glimpse into that future. And a shaky start for Mount Pleasant FA in defense of their CONCACAF Cup title. We'll have the highlights and lots more after the break.
If you could see what the future holds, you'd see that while things change, you've still got it. You are strong, resilient, inspiring, and you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it. Because you were made for more. Discover how Alive multivitamins by Nature's Way help you age vibrantly.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Brought to you by
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop 2021 Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958. The best eyewear this summer is at Seaview Optical. Buy one complete clear single vision glasses for $499. Get the second pair free. Or get progressive transitions with designer frames for only $1,399. The best in luxury eyewear. All exclusively available at Seaview Optical.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
Welcome back to Time for Sport. Now, TNT's under-14 footballers orchestrated their first win of this year's CFU Challenge Series on Wednesday, but the results elsewhere ensured that it was the end of the road for TNT's young warriors.
TNT's boys under-14 needed a win in their final Group B game at the CFU under-14 Challenge Series, taking on French Guiana. The young warriors were rocked just 4 minutes in, with French Guiana's Riley Berg Jean-Louis breaking the deadlock. That caused the young TNT team to lock in and create multiple chances. They managed to restore balance in the 13th minute through Jair Nanton, capitalizing on the defensive giveaway and taking it in the other direction. In the 26th minute, TNT's Jake Carrera would force the ball into the net after confusion from a set piece, 2-1 to the young warriors. 1 minute later, TNT struck again, with Nanton keeping composure to collect the through ball and send his team to a 3-1 advantage at halftime. Early in the second half, TNT's transition from defense to attack in the 44th minute led to the decisive blow, Zidane Tinto slotting it home to seal a 4-1 result. A positive one for the young warriors, but it could not avoid an early exit from the tournament. They placed third in their group with 4 points, where only the top team advanced. Despite a 1-0 defeat to Puerto Rico, Haiti topped the group with 6 points. Puerto Rico was second in the group, but missed out on a best second-place berth to the semi-finals. Samaki Felician, CNC3 Sport.
All right, on to some cricket news now. Kimo Paul displayed his all-round prowess in Jamaica Kingsmen's 51-run win over the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots last evening at Sabina Park. Ian Wason takes us through.
Jamaica Kingsmen were sent in to bat first, but lost 2 early pawns as Surab Nechavalka sent back Kirk McKenzie and Casey Kanti without a run on the board. Manindo Hasaranga struck next to remove Usman Khan after a brief stay, which introduced Kingsmen skipper Rovman Powell, who showed intent from the start. After, Reza Hendricks edged Andre Fletcher with the score, then on 54 for 4. Powell, joined by Kimo Paul, constructed the innings that saved the kingdom. The Kingsmen got a 99-run partnership from the 2 all-rounders in a competition between themselves to see who could hit it further. A skillful slower ball from Jason Holder accounted for Paul, who made 65. And Powell was out for 49 as the Kingsmen closed on 181 for 6 from their 20.
Steepler takes it.
Fletcher hit a beautiful 6.
Wrist work and enough.
Then was out on the very next ball with 7 runs to his name. And Johnson Charles was out for 11 at 29 for 2. Kimo Paul struck the sweet sound of timber to get rid of Kyle Mears, while Nikhil Chaudhary was trapped by Vital Laws with Patriots on 60 for 4. A huge mix-up and mid-pitch collision accounted for the run-out of Dasun Sanaka, making them 64 for 5. Navin Bedesi and Kevin Wickham then put on 44 to steady the Patriots' middle order before Bedesi was tactically retired out for 19 from 16 balls, with them on 108 for 6. His replacement, Jason Hooler, made no impact. Court Paul bowled Russell for 1, and the Patriots' last 3 wickets cost 9 runs, bowled out for 130 to lose by 51 runs. A second consecutive win for the Kingsmen, who moved to second on the table. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
It was a lovely height this time.
All right, now to tonight's shot of the day. And of course, 6 hitting in T20s is a skill of its own, but tonight's is something else.
Holy moly, that's a good stroke.
Saranga on top of the crease, and it's one of the rare misses for Hunain, just slightly missing his length. I like this because at the end of it, she still clapped.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to cringe at the beauty of some of these shots. Now, Hassan Khan swoops in from the boundary for the catch of the day.
Catch of the Day is brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Your idea of yes I can happens here.
Has he pulled that off? He's made it look like nothing. Easy.
Catch of the Day is brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Your idea of yes I can happens here.
Let's move on to some netball news. Cardinals crowned themselves champions of the court's All Sectors Under-16 League, holding off some strong challenges on the final 2 days. Samaki Felician reports.
Seeking to top the All Sectors Under-16 Development League, Seoul City demonstrated the true meaning of supremacy against Police Netball Youth Club at the Eastern Regional Sports Arena, Tacarigua. Unstoppable in the first half, they led 15-0 at the interval. Seoul City continued to impose themselves in the second half, with goal attack Annabelle Jones helping to expand the margin. But PNYC would finally get themselves on the scoreboard, with Jenya Balrup scoring her first of 2 attempts. It proved to be the lone goal for PNYC, as Seoul City continued to outscore them. Jones led the way with 18 goals from 31 attempts, while Jordan Blackman added 11 from 25 to help produce a stunning 29-1 demolition. But Seoul City were not done there. They followed up with another win on Tuesday, this time a 25-5 victory over Bermudas United. Jones again led the attack, pouring in 19 goals from 25 attempts. Elsewhere, Barataria Netters kept their title challenge alive, dispatching Arima United 19-9. Alea Daw was the difference for Netters, scoring 12 goals from 17 attempts. But while the battle for the top spots intensified, Cardinals remained perfect. They beat Netters 35-14 on Monday, then closed out their campaign with a 28-5 win over PNYC on Tuesday. Trinity White netted 24 goals against Netters and 15 more in the final match, as Cardinals finished 5 from 5 to claim the title. Netters finished second and Seoul City was third. Samaki Felician, CNC3 Sport.
Bronx Bulldogs basketball team came out with a mixed bag of results from the South Zone's weekend round of action at the Pleasantville Indoor Arena. The under-17 men blew out Point Fortin veterans, but the under-19 ladies were on the wrong end against Club Enterprise. We pick up this under-19 women's division clash with Club Enterprise looking to stretch a 26-point gap against Bronx Bulldogs. Having scored 10 points in each of the previous 2 quarters, Bronx only scored 6 in the third, including this long 2. That's compared to Enterprise's 18 in the period to take a 64-26 lead moving into the fourth. That final quarter was the best scoring period for the Bulldogs. This 3 was part of their haul of 18. Felicia Alexander ended with 7 to go along with Amina Filbert's game high 22. But it was Enterprise's all-round contributions that carried them through, including 9 from Michaela Blackett. This steal and layup was 2 of 14 points from Kaylee Haynes, while others like Maya Raymond and Jada Maria Gibbs dropped 19 and 12 points respectively. Club Enterprise winning 89-44 over the Bronx Bulldogs. The Bulldogs under-17 men came up against Point Fortin Veterans Basketball Academy, with Darren Sparks going to early work for the Bronx. A gorgeous Eurostep down the lane earned 2 of a game-high 25. But Aidan Felix was working overtime beneath the rim for the veteran youths. 2 putback buckets in close succession added to his 10 points, but that first quarter belonged to the Bronx boys. Jossie Sedeno put up 19 points, and this logo 3 from Nathan Eiffel was part of his 11 on the day. Bronx going to the first break up 32-11, and that 73-37 deficit by the time the fourth Q rolled around was a bridge too far for Point Fortin. They faded to an 86-55 point defeat. Looking regionally now, we have some CONCACAF Cup action, boxing and volleyball. Defending CONCACAF Caribbean Cup champions Mount Pleasant FA generated a number of first-half chances in their opening match of the new campaign on Tuesday night in Kingston. But the visitors, Cibao FC of the Dominican Republic, left their hosts trailing 1-0 at halftime thanks to a Diego Ledesma goal in the 43rd. Mount Pleasant did strike an equalizer through Natalia Fuller from 25 yards out in the 69th. But Sebao won it in the 80th minute when Mariano Nicheli powered a rebound back past goalkeeper Shaquan Davis to cup all 3 points on the road. To boxing, the region's finest young fighters are ready to step onto the canvas at the 2026 Caribbean Schoolboys and Juniors Boxing Championships in Guyana. Thursday morning's weigh-in will usher in the 3-day tournament at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. Young fighters from St. Martin, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia and the Bahamas are expected to glove up. And Bermuda's senior women's volleyball team will reign as queens of the Eastern Caribbean after defeating Antigua and Barbuda women 25-23, 27-25, 21-25 and 25-20 in Tortola, British Virgin Islands on Sunday. And on the men's side, St. Vincent and the Grenadines bounced back after losing the opening set to defeat St. Lucia 17-25, 25-17, 25-13 and 25-22. We close off with Chemo Paul coming of age, tonight's Sport High.
Last night was the closest Chemo Paul has come in a long time to turning potential into something real. The all-rounder was at his destructive best, blasting to 65 from 36 balls with 5 fours and 5 sixes, along with 3 wickets for 30 and a catch. It was a match-winning performance if ever there was one. It's why he gets tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
The Jamaica Kings men are finding their feet in this tournament.
Yeah, they have some momentum, some rhythm finally in this tournament after 3 defeats in a row. And in their last 2 wins, they unfortunately can count the TKR as one of them. Is it a backslide for TKR? Only time will tell.
Let's not talk too much about
I think you're just a bit too confident about...
Doris is a TKR, girls.
Of course. All right, let's head to a break. We'll be right back.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my book?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Ready for a cricket showdown like no other. The Trinbago Knight Riders go head-to-head with Antigua and Barbuda Falcons this Saturday, August 22nd, in another massive Republic Bank CPL T20 clash. Join us from 6:30 p.m. for the live pre-show. Then catch every boundary, wicket, and thrilling moments live and exclusive on CNC3 and CNC3Live.com from 7 p.m. This year.
Steel Pan Month is in full swing, and tonight Port of Spain is alive with the sound of pan as thousands gather for Pan and Powder 2026.
That's right. Despite wet weather, the celebration is pressing on outside City Hall, where some of the country's top steel orchestras are taking the national instrument straight to the streets. Our reporter Angelo Jedediah was there to bring us some highlights.
Well, if you're looking for a place where there's music, good vibes, and where you can get some powder on your face, well, this is the place to be tonight. I am here at Pan and Powder 2026, and the streets are alive because of what? Steel Pan. There's a whole massive celebration outside City Hall, and you're going to have a procession going all the way to Queen's Park, Savannah. And all of this is very, very important to our culture because what is at the center of it? Our national instrument. And one of the persons who's responsible for taking the pan out of the pan yard and bringing it to the people is Pan Trinbago President Beverly Ramsey Moore. How are you this evening?
Pure excitement. I'm really, really, really thankful and grateful that we are bringing the closure of Pan Month on an excellent, excellent note.
And what is the significance of pan and powder, especially the inclusion of the powder?
Oh, well, you know, you can't play mass and freight powder. And seeing that the steel pan was one of the drivers of the carnival, you know, in the early days, you didn't have DJs, and the Calypsonians and the mass bands depended on the steel bands to push and move the mass forward. And so the significance of the powder is just a celebration. In other words, we are all equal. We are all united. So you have some powder, I have some powder. And that's what makes us one.
And also, who will be getting some powder are some of the steel bands who will be performing throughout this entire evening. So what are some of the bands that will be here?
So as you know, we already had Pan Elites, and then we had that band from Shoguanas, which is Tropical Angel Harps. Right now we have Starlift, and after Starlift we have one other band that is going to be great. And then on the road, we have Massey Trinidad All Stars, we have Skipper, and we have Supernovas. And then when we get to Queen's Park, Savannah, we have 5 additional bands.
There is some rainfall here tonight, but persons are willing. A lot of Trimbagonians, a lot of visitors are here as well, and they are willing to brace the rain in order to celebrate Pan. What do you say about that?
I tell you, a number of persons return to Trinidad, our nationals abroad, return to Trinidad to celebrate Pan Month with us, and they are here in their numbers. This is a growing product, and this evening we are going to pay homage to one Jamie Thomas, who was one of the co-founders of Pan and Powder, that radio personality who has gone over and crossed over to the land of the ancestors. So we are going to celebrate him here this evening, and I tell you, what a way to end Pan Month. Pan and Powder is a growing international product.
And as president of Pan Trinbago, your mission is really to take Pan out of just carnival season alone and have it year long. And how are you going to continue doing that?
We have declared in Pan Trinbago that there is no season for Pan. We just came out of a huge youth fest where 31 youth bands throughout Trinidad and Tobago performed in their communities. And you know what? When we end Pan Month, we move straight into Panorama. Some bands are already practicing, so look out for us. We are going to unveil Panorama 2027 in the next 2 weeks. So we are not stopping at all. It's Pan, Steel Pan, Pan. Trinidad and Tobago is the land and the birthplace of the steel pan. It's all about the national instrument and about national love.
Well, thank you so much, Madam President. I'm going to let you get back to the festivities and enjoy all the pan and powder this evening. So that is the main message here today, that we are going to be celebrating Pan no matter what. And if you're missing this, well, you still have enough time to come down and enjoy some of the Pan and Powder 2026. Angelo Jedediah, CNC3 News.
Angelo is having a great time out there.
I don't think there's anything more patriotic than the national instrument.
Talking about patriotism, Doris, ahead of Independence Day, we ventured across the country asking citizens, what does Trinidad and Tobago mean to you?
Every night, we'll be bringing you one patriotic response. Here's what Sanka Gangadeen had to say.
I'm born and grow here, so it means everything to me.
All right, so who's heading to the Queen's Park Savannah tonight for Pan and Powder?
I think I'm passing around it.
Doris has already said, listen, I have to get up early for work tomorrow. I'm out. Sigoni said she's out. Jassy, we know that you love pan and powder.
I do love pan, I do love powder, but I'll have to miss out on this one tonight on account of the rain.
Wow, I guess I'm on my own then.
You're right.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Grateful you can join us. I'm Ryan Bechu.
I'm Doris Polo.
I am Jassy Marie.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed. Have a good night.
You're watching CNC3.
Every project begins with a vision, a roof built to last.